Let's begin. Why not? Thank you for the introduction. Okay, hopefully the levels are all right and everything. Hopefully you can hear me. Looks like you can. I haven't tested the alert, so I'm just going to drop this alert just to make sure it's the right volume. That'll do nicely. Happy New Year's, guys. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year, guys. Oh, it is quite dark, isn't it? Here, let me whack that up a little bit. So a couple of changes. I'm not going to go through the hellos, the greetings, for one. I know it's just it's getting harder and harder to do it. So, and I can't be asked, if I'm honest. So, hello to everybody who's joined. There you go. That's the hellos. Hope you're all doing well. Anyway, hope this New Year's treating you better than it's treating America at the moment. And if you're in America, I my sympathies are with you. For what it's worth, I mean, we might not be having any assaults on democracy here, but we do have a complete moron in power as well. So, thanks for the bits, guys. Thanks for the bits, Fitren. Thanks for the bits, Quadrasaur. Just say hello, losers. Yeah. I don't think you're all losers. You're all Commodore fans. Hello, winners, more like. Okay, I was sorting my video out, wasn't it? Here we are. I always turn the exposure down a little bit because otherwise it makes me glow. So yeah, there you go. That's not bad. You can see the bottle of Kraken in the background here. I've got no camera sense when it comes to things. Bottle of Kraken, bottle of Coke. I'm gonna crack that open when I've had the I'm gonna crack that open when I've had enough of the cider. All Commodore fans, all Commodore fans, and somebody who's wrong as well. So yeah, it's all right. You're all welcome here. You're all retro fans. That's the main thing. It's time for clear powder. Shall I make up? No, 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 no. If I was to wear makeup on, I would just get it wrong, completely wrong, and I would end up, yeah, like a 6-year-old putting lipstick on their dad sort of look. It would look bad. Thanks for the resub, Docstar, appreciated. Okay, I say I'm not going to go through hellos from now on. I'm just gonna do a quick greeting at the beginning, general greeting like this, and then I'm just gonna crack on. I'm gonna try this year to try and get the code a bit more focused on the code, so and a little bit less focused on the chat. I am still going to try and read chat where I can, but I'm going to try and be a bit more focused on the code. I've got some ideas as well to get you more involved. That is going to involve. I was speaking to Andy about this yesterday as well. He's given me permission to use the term AMK points, and I may be doing something along those lines as well. So there may be a separate point system where if you contribute towards bug fixes or contribute towards the code, I will award you some special kind of collaboration points. As for what they'll do, I don't know yet, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. Thanks for the follow, Judge Dave. Thanks for the bits, Microman. Thanks for the bits, Meadov, and thanks for the bits again, Dockster. Appreciated. Fame at last, yeah. So I've spent a little bit of time over Christmas gathering some new screenshots. The same C64 screenshots are there. I've not changed any of those, but I've now added, I think, 8 other platforms, and I'm going to add a few more as well. So the quiz randomizer will be reset a few times before I lock it in fully, because I need to add in the extra platforms. But the scores won't be reset. So, and the other thing I'm going to do as well is I'm going to run the quiz on 30-minute intervals instead of 15. I think it's a little bit too too disruptive having it happen every 15 minutes. So we're gonna go with 30 minutes from now on. If it seems like it's too long, then we'll shorten it a bit. I want to try and kind of spruce the stream up a little bit, get back to kind of what the stream is about, which is about coding. And so be trying to focus on that a little bit more. Still be doing giveaways as well. We've got this to give away soon. which is the Digital Nexus 4 FPGA board. Show you that there. I'll be giving that away at the end of the month to one lucky winner. This will run the Mega 65 core. So I'm just waiting on a keyboard for it. It's just needs a standard USB keyboard, and all my keyboards are like weird mods and stuff. So thanks for the bits, Kenneth Mirror. Thanks for the resub, K-Apocalypse, and thanks for the bits, Prow7. Okay, so let's get this the new quiz on the go. Have a look at that first one, Spectrum. So you get a little clue in the corner, tell you what platform it's on, and then it's down to you to figure out what game it is. It's going to be interesting now because it's not just Commodore games. So everybody from different systems has a chance. People who aren't particularly familiar with games from that. Does the Mega 65 core actually support a USB keyboard? No, but I think there is something set up for this which will allow it to work. Oh, nicely done. Spec comes to the first one on the board with a Spectrum game. Nice. But yeah, I'll be testing that out soon and giving it away at the end of the month. But what it will do, and I know that at least one dev who's using this to do lots and lots of kind of stuff right on the edge of what we're trying to do with the Mega 65. So it's definitely a very, very capable board, and it can definitely run everything that the dev kit can run. It just doesn't obviously have the floppy drive controller in it. It doesn't have the Commodore IEC ports or anything like that. So you are limited with some of the stuff that you can do on it. But the Mega 65 core does allow you to mount virtual D81 files anyway, so you don't necessarily need a floppy drive. You can do it with virtual drives, which is what I use all the time anyway. And obviously you can't connect a proper joystick to it. You'd have to I guess you would have to use something through the USB or something on it. I'm not sure how that would work. And it doesn't have HDMI, it only has VGA, so you'd have to use VGA for it. But I've got a VGA cable coming out. I'm going to test that through my OSSC. I'll probably give a little demonstration of it next week, I guess. Cool. All right. That's it for now. Let's crack on with the code. So I want to see where we're at. I think the last thing I did was it was the masking, wasn't it? That was the last thing I did. Also got a new keyboard as well, so you'd have to bear with me. I'm still getting used to it because it's an American layout keyboard. It's a little bit awkward. I can probably show you actually. You can see that. Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit trickier to use. I'm just getting used to it at the moment, so I am making way more typing errors than I probably should be making. Also, I was messing around with these, wasn't I? So I don't know what I've done on here. I was trying to figure out how button 2 and button 3 works. Configure key set A. Okay, that's... Yeah, I need to swap. It's this one I've messed around with. Oh no, okay, I haven't messed around there. Okay, that's fine. And I changed the color of the overlay as well. I felt it was time to give it something a little bit different. Oh, I can't get in there any. Oh, because I need to exit the screen, don't I? That's right. It only starts activating it when you move into the screen. It's part of the spawn code. There we go. So what I thought I was going to do tonight is start looking at some of the more screen specific stuff. Oh, actually, one thing that we do have to do is screens with multiple power ups. But I might have it. I think I need to get back into the code a little bit first, so before I start digging around in that stuff. So I think what I might do is, oh, there's a little bug there. What's that about? Some Sprite Multiplexer Bug there. Okay. Well, all right. I'm not sure why the Sprite Multiplexer is doing that. It stops after that. It seems to be related to this screen. Could be to do with the masking up here. Not sure. No, it doesn't seem to be. Okay. Anyway, what I thought we'd do is something a little bit simpler today. Just go through some stuff that's going to be specific to the screens. So even on the first three screens, there well, three of the first. Actually, no, this is custom. These two sprites here, but we've already done those, so we don't need to do that. There's a laser on this screen which we need to do, and a switch here. Which opens the door, which we don't have actually. We don't have doors in place, so that could be something we implement, a door system. There is a swarm in here, and like a force field wall here as well. So that's another thing we could do. But what I thought we'd do today is the star field up here, because it's something we've done before in the dissect streams. And it should be pretty easy to implement as a relatively simple piece of code that's pretty standalone. So I thought I would maybe do that here today. There's a sub sprite that we need to drop in over here. So the two things we can look at here would be loading in sprites specific to the level, specific to the screen, which is absolutely fine. It's something we should be thinking about doing. And we can use the cartridge loader to do that. That's absolutely fine. And just for sprites in this case. And then the other thing is to look at the character set. So figure out where in the character set this has been drawn, and where it starts, where it ends, and then use some of the other characters, probably the ones at the beginning, before these are drawn, to draw the stars on here as well. So we want to reuse the character set rather than reserve any of the character set. So that's what I'm going to look at. So it also means I'm going to have to try and load this up in the debugger, which is going to be fun because I'm not sure how to do that on this keyboard. I'm guessing it's that. Let's try it. Yeah, it is. Hey, Digital Stefan, welcome to the stream. Hopefully the colors look all right as well on that. I did mess around with the colors just before the stream, so I wasn't entirely sure if the overlay colors worked or not. I think they do look all right, actually. It doesn't look too bad. Hey, Pixel Page, welcome. Why is that not? Oh, that's right. It doesn't load in here because I need to. Oh, this. Do you know what? Debugger is going to be a lot of fun on this keyboard. All right. So I need to load the card. Actually, I could probably just drop it on. That's probably the easiest way of doing this. So I've actually done next to no C64 code over Christmas. I did a little bit here and there for the competition just to help people out, just to kind of test things out. But I haven't really done any C64 code. It's been mostly Mega 65, and to be honest, I've not done as much of that as I would have liked to have done. I've not been particularly well over Christmas. I think one of the things streaming does is it keeps my sleeping pattern relatively regular, whereas without it, I kind of lose track of kind of what day or time it is. And with the lack of work as well, it just escalated. Christmas was kind of quite hard to sleep. I don't know if anybody else felt that. What am I looking for here? Bin file. Here we go. No, in source bin. No, that doesn't want to load. Okay. Okay. Let's try it manually then. Which means I've got to go and find it. Ugh. Resident Evil streams. Well, that's why you don't sleep. You're watching Resident Evil streams. Your sleep schedule is, yeah. Mine's been screwed since the beginning of the lockdown, since the very first week. I think partly it was anxiety over the first week or two of the lockdown, just because it was new. I wasn't sure what was going on, and my brain couldn't relax and not think about it. And then as it sunk in that we were being at home all the time, I started realizing that I wasn't actually expending anywhere near the energy that I'd normally expend, um, through not going out, not exercising as much as normal. That's the wrong folder. You can tell I'm used to going in there. And since then, it's just gone to pot, really. Hey, Zendarek, welcome. Hope you're doing well. That's a good one, Spec Constar. I like that. I'm not going to read that out, but yeah, that's a good one. I like it. Oh man, what is going on? Why is it not loading on here? Do I need? I don't know why it doesn't seem to want to load. Oh man, it's so weird, this keyboard for this. Oh, what? Reload, hard reset followed by a reload PRG. Yeah, in fact, I don't even think this is the latest. No, this is a relatively older version, I think, but get a magic keyboard. Oh no, God, I can't use them at all. I got this because it's small, it's got proper mechanical keys, not the shitty butterfly keys, scissor keys, whatever they're called. And its black switch is the same as the Mega 65, so it feels like using the Mega 65. It's just I probably should have got one with F keys on it, but I really liked the tininess of this. I'm getting used to it. It's just relearning my memory, muscle memory stuff. Okay, let's try again. I'm reloading PRG file. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to this settings to factory defaults. There we go, because I don't care about any of these settings. The only thing I am going to do is voice audio volume is already on 0. Okay. Why is it not loaded? I don't understand why it's not loading. Okay, let's just double check that cart is actually working. So if I drop that cart on here. Oh, it's not loading at all. Have I broken something? This is a really great start, isn't it? Really great start to the year. Okay, so if I do a build from here. Right, the cart loads on there. So in theory, if I go on here, it should. Oh, maybe I built it with F7. Maybe I just built it with F7. I think the reason I'm using that version of this version of the debugger is because it had some fix for labels or something in it. So could start on the new year. Yeah, let's be honest. We could do anything we want now, and it still wouldn't be the worst thing that happened at the beginning of this year. So, oh god, no, that's really out of date. Yeah, tonight's wine is not that. Tonight's wine is Copperberg cider, followed by Kraken and Coke. And what we'll play later on is I'm going to take a look at this thing as well later on. So this is the new Atari VCS console. I haven't turned it on yet. I thought I'd save that for the stream, so we'll turn this on for the first time on stream. take a look at it, see if it's any good, and I'll box the joysticks. I haven't touched these yet, so I've got the modern controller for it, and I've got the classic controller as well. So we'll take a look at those as well, see if they're any good. Then give it away. No, I'm actually going to use it as a RetroArch machine because I've been watching a few videos of people who've got it, and apparently it's a very, very good emulator machine because it is just a Ryzen PC. So Air Jury Raid. Hey Jerry, welcome. AMFF, yes. Hey Agmafin, welcome. I hope you're doing well. What were you playing tonight, guys? I'm guessing Amiga, right? Where's my... Oh, shit, I don't know what my button is now. I don't know what any of the buttons are. This is so screwed up. I don't know what my fire button is now in here. Oh, it wasn't that. We can never raid you because you stream on Fridays. Yeah, check out Akmafin and Jerry's channel, guys. If someone can shout them out, it'd be really good. Shout out Jerry. I've been playing a lot of Amiga Turrican 2 over Christmas, which is something I don't normally play. I absolutely love Turrican 2, but I've always played the C64 version. I'll shout you out. Oh, there you go, Andy beat. Oh no, I just about beat Andy to it, but there you go. Yeah, the last two guys in the universe actually played games in the same room. Yeah. You got it. Oop. Right, I need to fix. I don't know what my fire button is in the debugger. The reason I want to get into the debugger is I want to figure out where the charter ends and how I can use those. Use those. There's going to be a value somewhere in memory which points to the next area, and I'm hoping there's one that points to where the characters started, so I can use those, or advance the one that points to the end. But in order to do that, I need to know how to use my freaking joystick in here, and I have no idea. So keyboard shortcuts, maybe. No, that's for menus, isn't it? All right. Use keyboard as joystick, yes. But it doesn't tell me what the because the fire button is usually the right alt button, but I don't have a right alt button anymore. So I think I might be screwed. I think I might actually be screwed for this debugger, which is a little bit annoying unless there's some other combination that I can find. I can always change it. I mean, I've got this menu button here, so I can probably change that. But let me see if I can. I can't even remember where the keyboard thing is in this one here. So I'm in this one here. So I want to change that basically, and I want to change that to be right alt because I don't need that for anything else, to be honest. So. There we go. Okay, so what I'm looking for here now is oh shit, how do I do that? I've really not thought about this program at all with this keyboard because now I don't know. Fucking hell. Why has it gone purple? I don't want purple. Keep for a while, do. Oh my god, it stayed purple. All right. Okay, so that's trying to load. Ah, there we go. All right. So I need to press those two buttons together to do this. No. Damn it, I really haven't thought about this keyboard at all. God damn it. Today, Amiga IK Plus Lupo Alberto. I don't know that at all. Quack Pluto's Pro Boxing Simulator. I need a proper. I, I need to look. What I need to do is I really need to spend a bit of time with with the debugger and figure out what the freaking keys are now for it, because it's not helping me that I have no idea what to press to do various things. So that's giving me F9. Then none of the other F keys are doing anything. And now I'm stuck on this freaking. Oh, there we go. Ah, here we go. Okay. So, oh, Jesus Christ, that's an annoying combination. There we go. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at. I'm trying to figure out where these characters end. So there's a blank here, but as I go into this room up here, or any room actually, let's go into this one. You'll see the next ones are drawn in place. So what I kind of need to do here is pick 10 characters from this character set somehow. That I want to use. And it can't be the one that we had that was blank when we entered, and it can't be any between these basically. It either has to be 10 in front or 10 behind those. I'm going to go with 10 in front because I think that's going to give us the easiest way of doing this. So we just need to work out where that character is. So that is probably going to be set the layout. It's also naughty over Christmas as well. I smoked a couple of packs of cigarettes, which I regret completely. But I haven't smoked again for a couple of days, so. How was everyone's Christmas anyway? Was it good? Anyone get anything fun? Anyone get too drunk? Eat too much turkey? I actually found my Christmas to be quite nice. I actually quite enjoyed the peace, to be honest. Normally you have to deal with family, you have to deal, and it was just nice to not have to do any of that. I still cooked a turkey, but it was, I mean, my girlfriend's vegan anyway, so the turkey was just mine. So I just had a freaking huge turkey to myself. We've nearly finished all the turkey, still some left. Wow, okay. Mrs. Magic Knight got you a pie 400. Nice. You got a pair of slippers and drunk too much in beer in general. Yeah, I quite enjoyed the piece actually. It was kind of nice. And honestly, it didn't feel very different to any other day, other than the fact that I was cooking for a large portion of it. But yeah, the whole turkey to myself was kind of cool. So, I mean, obviously, I didn't eat the whole turkey on my own in one sitting. I mean, I did eat it on my own, but I didn't eat it in one sitting. But what I did was I did turkey and I did stuffing balls as well, and then I would just wrapped up portions of turkey with stuffing into separate compartment, separate containers, and kept them for other meals at other times. Yeah, I didn't do bacon on my turkey this year. I normally do, but I didn't this year for some reason. I didn't feel like I had to show off, I don't think. Normally I do it to show off a little bit, nice kind of crispy bacon on the top of the turkey. But there wasn't any reason to do it, so I just didn't bother at all. Yeah, I was going to do a turkey pot pie as well, but I, to be honest, most of the leftover turkey just got eaten in turkey stuffing sandwiches. Oh God, right, okay. I see. I said I was going to focus on the code more, and I've not done a single line of code yet. So let's crack on. Okay, so what I'm looking for now is the loader that loads in the maps. So it's going to be this one here. Um, so what I want to see is there a font pointer? Here you go. This is probably the one. So we're going to keep an eye on what that gets set to, and see if it correlates with the character set as well. I think it probably will, but we just need to make sure that it does. I hate the fact that my keyboard has gone purple. That's really irritating me, but I'll sort that out afterwards. It's like a really, I don't know, really hot. To show you. You can't really see it on there, but it's kind of like a terrible purple. Okay, so what I'm looking for is the debug file here, which gives you this. So this is a really good way of figuring out the locations of things here. If you just do a search through all your files in Sublime, it's Control Shift and F. It searches through open files and folders. I think it will go through anything you've got open in here, not just the ones you've got here. So if you open a folder here, if the file is being shown in this list, then it will search through it. But actually, no, that can't be fully correct, because it's getting this file from in here, from this here. So it's not. I think it's just recursive. So if it's in its list, it will search through everything. So about the C50 combo, the game doesn't really need to look like C50. No, it can look as good or as poor as you want it to look. The only reason we put the restrictions on is to kind of limit how much you can kind of do. But I realize even with those limits, people are going to make much nicer games than you would see on that. So plus most of those games were in basic anyway. In fact, I think all of them were in basic. Or if not most of them were in basic. So oh yeah, I did a ham as well. I always do a ham at Christmas. Shall and set color equals white. Yeah. Yeah, I deliberately have. I kind of slightly regret those limitations, um, more because I think it's caused a bit too much confusion, and I don't want people to think they have to use that low memory. The low memory stuff, the stuff before 0800 or 0801 even, is really about where did that go? 3981. There we go. So I need to look for this in here. It is really about giving those who have a bit more experience as something challenging to do. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it, and I think that's kind of been misinterpreted a little bit, but it's fine. I kind of expected something, but whatever. Yeah, limit's so good except the interrupt. What's wrong with the interrupt? You mean the 03140315? Hey Fistmaster. Hey Trutonis as well. Yeah, that was the other kind of point to it, was that it was supposed to be something that would be slightly educational if you weren't already familiar with how to do this. That doesn't look right at all. That's 3981. That's right. Okay. 3981. So this is this one here. CCB0. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this is pointing to the end, so that's good. So we'll use that. Thanks for the gift subs, True Tonners. Thank you very much, and welcome to the subs to Medol, C64 Mark, Mr. Cola, MVG Zappy, and Hez Darlin as well. And thanks for the host as well, Fistmaster. Appreciated. Oh, it broke your code. You used it for a sprite. Another quiz in 2 minutes. Wonder what platform we're going to get next. I think there's about 8 or 9 platforms. So there's a little bit for everyone. I still need to add Mega Drive in. I still need to add SNES in, but there is what was the Sega one I added in? I did add some Sega things in. I forgot what it was now. What else would it be? Sega. Did I add Dreamcast in? I don't think I added Dreamcast in. I don't think I've added Sega yet, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure I have added anything yet. Okay, yeah, I don't know, but Saturn, was it Saturn? No, I haven't added Saturn either, actually. Nah, okay, whatever. Oh, Akmafin's back into 2021 with the terrible jokes. Okay, so we do have this font pointer here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this somehow. So let me explain what we're gonna do. Let me just start it again. Press the right buttons. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this screen, the code specific to this screen, not this one. And I need to go. Oh, this is so annoying. I need to make this work on straight away. I can just make it spawn in this screen. It's fine. So this screen here, which is screen number 1, it's in the top corner here. And we're going to put a star field across the top here. Oh, PlayStation game. Interesting. Oh, I think I know what it looks like, but oh no, it's not. Damn it. I know what it is. It's that simple. Yeah, I thought it was Crash Bandicoot as well, to be honest. I thought it was Crash Bandicoot though, rather than Crash Team Racing. But yeah. But yeah, this is the whole point of the quiz now, is that there's a chance for everybody to get it, because I'm pretty sure anybody who's watching this channel has played on at least one of these systems. Um, so that's why we're going with that. Okay, that sprite bug is still there. I don't know why that happens. I'm not too fussed about it right now, but we'll come back to that at some point. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to define 10 characters that are going to be used. So we're going to use 80 bytes of font memory somewhere. And we need to work out where that's going to be. So we know it's going to start here, but what we don't know, and if I go to this screen, you'll see the problem. So at the moment, this is where the font pointer is pointing to. When the screen fills up to here, it's going to come and start back down here again. So if the font pointer gets to about here and I try and save 10 characters, I need to save 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then 6 down here somewhere. And they're not starting from the beginning. They start somewhere around here. So it's almost like we need a function to reserve a character space. Which will return us. Yes, that's how we'll do this. Actually, we'll create a function which returns us we'll advance the font pointer. So we read the font pointer and then we advance the font pointer by 1. And then that way we can do that 10 times, and that will give us 10 addresses, which we can then store, and that will become our lookup. Okay, we'll do it that way. So what I'm going to do in here then, in that case, reset font map. Need to figure out where that's been advanced. There is going to be, it's going to be one of these somewhere. Okay, so that is font right, font pointer. Okay, so this is what's doing the advanced font pointer stuff at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to abstract this out into its own thing here. So we're not duplicating code, so we can just use the same code twice. Okay, so what we do is I don't know what this font index is about, whether or not we need to increase that. I'll take a look at that in a second. But for now, let's just move. Yeah, see, look, end of font space here. Okay, maybe we do need this font index thing here. Oh, we've got it written down, A, B, C, D. Okay. For every char in the map, yep. Otherwise, create a new font entry, add font ID to the font map. Okay. So we do need to advance this font index as well, it looks like. Okay. That's fine. So it's going to include the increment of the font index as well. So I'm actually going to put that back here like that because we're going to reuse this code twice. So, and then I'm going to call advance. Oh my god, there we go. And I'm going to put this in here, and I change that skip to just a single one like that. Okay, so what this is doing, this is taking our font index and it's increasing it by 1. If we're at the end of font space, which is not 255, it's actually going to be here, which I don't know what that is. I think it's like 192 or something like that. But when it gets to this point, it's going to reset. So that's what end of font space is this position here, because the rest of it is hard coded font data that we can't change. So that's what it's doing here. So if we reach that position +1, because obviously if we reach that position, it's fine. It's if we overflow. If we do reach that, then we jump to here, and what this does is reset the font index back to the beginning. So number of base chars is how many characters we have here that are hard coded. I think we have 11. I can't remember the exact number. I think it's either 10 or 11. So it's going to be like this group of characters here. So it's going to ensure that those get reset properly, and then it's going to reset the font pointer to point to that location as well. Otherwise, what it's going to do is just going to advance the font pointer by 8 bytes, so that we move properly through. So this is exactly the routine that we want, I think. So I think this is fine to call as it is. It seems to not have any other dependency outside of this block, so that's fine. It's fine to have it called in here, and that means now we can use this in our screen code. So I don't know if you remember, but each screen has a piece of code like this. Some screens don't have anything, but if a screen does have a block of code, it will look like this. Otherwise, what will happen is the screen loader, sorry, this one here, will default to whatever we tell it to. So our default is screen 0. We just use this as our default, and this is just an empty file. In fact, screen 01 is pretty much the same as this, but you can see we've imported a persist file in here. So the persist file is the thing that handles where the barrels are, where the power up blocks are, and stuff. So text is tiny. Let me back it up a little bit. There you go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. You all over 40? Yeah, I think most of us are. Yeah, so. Yes, new quiz league steps. Welcome as well. Welcome. Oh, do you know? Do you know what you've reminded me? I didn't add points. You are lucky, steps, because normally I don't do this so late. But yeah, I haven't added points to anybody. So there you go. Oh, oh my God! I can't even type. Yeah, so at the moment, all screen one is actually doing is importing the persist file. So this is what handles uh, the blocks and things on the screen. So you'll see if I go, I think I've killed them all now. Oh, what's going on here? What is that? Ah. Oh wow, okay. I seem to have got stuck in some kind of joystick loop here or something. Ah, damn it! All right, here we go. It's just on that screen for some reason. Oh, you can see the masking sprite here as well. That's cool. That's cool. You can see how the sprite masking works now. I do think that system has worked out really well. Um, it does a really good job of doing what I want it to do. So this here is what is the persist. So the persist file will contain the locations of these, how many hit points they've got, and what they will contain if it's a power up block like this. So you have to import that. It's exported by the map editor, so you don't need to write it for each one. It's automatically exported by the asset explorer up here. So you can see in here we've got persist. If I open up persist one, see it's just a block of data which applies to three bonus pods, 5 barrels. Really simple. Don't have to worry about how that works. It's all imported automatically. But each screen also has an init, an update, and an exit. This allows us to run a piece of code as the screen loads, a piece of code as the screen unloads, and a piece of code every frame while we're on that screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this font pointer thing in the init function here. Now I can put what I want in these screen functions. It's absolutely fine. The only limit is memory, and I'm hoping there won't be too much memory used. However, I'm probably going to use zero pace for Smiths. Did you adjust? I don't have any control over the gamble whatsoever. That's all. That's all stream elements. So if it has changed, then it's stream elements. Yeah, Steps is here now. It's just gambling now. Steps is the gamble king. But yeah, as I say, I'm gonna add actual AMK points. I don't know how I'm gonna do it in terms of displaying it, but I am actually going to add things so there's a bit more incentive to kind of get involved with the code as well, because it used to be that was the case. I think the gambling has kind of taken that away a little bit. Um, but it's I don't want to remove the gambling because I know people do enjoy it, so I don't want to remove it completely. I've limited the quiz to 30 minutes now just to kind of calm that down a little bit. So did I make it's so small? I did make the text bigger. My God, how much bigger do you need it, man? Steps, if you like, did you gamble your eyes over Christmas? Lost his eyes in a poker bet, didn't he? Okay, So yeah, what I need to do then here is I need to make room for 10, 10 characters basically. So let's have a think about how we're going to do this. So if you imagine the screen set up like this, I'm going to use the numbers 1 to 0 or 0 to 9. I'm going to set the screen up kind of like this. These are characters, by the way. These are the individual characters. Notice they're always going to be in blocks 0 to 9. That's not going to change, and that's going to repeat across the screen. But then on the next line, I'll start somewhere else. So I won't start at 0. I might start at 3, for instance. And then on the next line, I might start at 7. And so on and so on down the screen, each time starting at a different location. So that in itself is easy to do. I can fill the screen with those just using a random function to decide which I want on the sides, and just incrementing the values we go across. That's going to be pretty easy. But what I need to be able to do is I need to be able to change pixel. I need a routine that's going to plot a pixel somewhere in this location. Thanks for the follow, Iwukumi. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. What screenshots did we have? We've had Spectrum and what was the other one? PlayStation 1 so far. Oh, thank you very much for the gift subs, Digital Stefan. And congratulations to Tinspin, James, Smooham, French Donna, and Radek Hinilka. I think I've said that right. I'm not sure. So, well, to be fair, the PS1 was probably the easiest one you could have possibly got. It was a game that had Spider-Man in it, and the game name was Spider-Man. It couldn't have got any easier. So. They're not all going to be that easy, though. I promise you. I think there's about 1,500 screenshots now. Various platforms. Commodore still has the most. And then the other platforms have between 1 and 200 screenshots each, depending on the platform. Some have got more. Atari Jaguar was in there as well. So just keep the Atari Jaguar game page open and you'll be able to get those ones. As soon as there's only like 50 games or something. It won't take you long to match them up. So thanks for the host as well, Sinlao. Very much appreciated. Okay, so yeah, we need this is how the screen layout is going to be set out. This is what we need to be able to do. We need to be able to print to one of these characters. Now, these are going to change all the time in memory. So every time I go into the screen, they're going to be in a different place. So I need somewhere to store these locations. So I think the easiest way to do this is to use zero page and probably use the index with X. No, that's not going to work, is it? Because that's just going to take me. No, that isn't going to work. Ah, damn it. Oh no, index with Y. Yeah, okay. We will still use zero page. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a look at zero page now. Let's have a look. See how much of zero page we're actually using. Hopefully it's not a lot. I don't think it is a lot, actually. Oh my god, I'm not used to this big text. I've been on proper sized text for the past month. Yeah, guys, it's been 3 weeks since I last streamed. That's crazy. I've not seen zero page in here. Where is zero page? Okay, so we've got some temporary zero page storage. This is the perfect place to put it. Temporary zero page. Oh, wait, no, it can't be. It has to be. Ah, shit. Okay, now this is. So how many bytes do we need? Right, we've got 10 characters, so a word for each character. That's 20 bytes that we need. Okay, I can't remember why it's temporary in there. I think it's because when the page. Okay, it's when the page is loaded in. That's fine. So I can use that area. Okay, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use that area. It is decided. Actually, there seems to be quite a bit of room down here, though, as well. 0 page bars, 46 to 63. Why is that? Oh, that's this bit here, isn't it? Ah, okay. Can possibly fit some in here. Okay, I'm going to create... I'm going to call this screen temp vars. So this is going to be some vars that are particularly just used for this screen. And I'm actually just going to call it screen temp 20 bytes or screen temp 20. And it's basically just going to be... Actually, let's do it with words as well. Now, the reason I'm doing it like this is because then I can use this for other things on other screens. There's likely to be more cases where we need lists like this. So we're just going to reserve this block of memory for block of 20 bytes specifically for screens to do some stuff with. So that's what we're going to go for. Sorry, just catching up with chat a little bit there. It feels so weird to be streaming on a Friday. It really does feel weird. I got the wrong window open. Yeah, there we go. Right, okay. So I'm going to knock the font that size down one. That's just a bit too big for me. There we go. It's a little bit better. Feels really weird actually looking at this. Okay, so this is what we're going to use. We're going to use this area, and the way we're going to do it is quite simple. We are going to, first of all, we're going to set a pointer like so. Actually, need to indent this, don't I? There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do this following pattern 10 times. So we're going to load our map font pointer. And I'm going to use +0 like I always do here. And I'm going to store that at and then we're going to do the same with +1 like so. Now I need to go and look at this code. Does this use the X register? It does not. It uses only the accumulator. So we don't need to push the X onto the stacker. Oh, can't do that. I've got used to doing this now. Got so used to doing that. And if I want to transfer from X to Y doing that, there's a really nice feature in the Mega 65 and something that when you start using it, you'll find really, really powerful because these are really quick as well. These are like one cycle. So yeah, just transferring something from X to Y without using the accumulator is really, really nice. Using the stack to do it is really good. So lots of nice little things like that. I'll tell you one thing I've been using. So normally we do enemy behaviors and we do some kind of indirect lookup like this. And we might have something like that. And normally what we'll do is we'll find an example. Well, you can kind of see in here with these screen behaviors as well. So we'd point to this location, then we'd add 0 for init, add 3 for update, and 6 for exit. So we'd be doing something like this, but pre-calculating this, not pre-calculating, calculating this using assembly. But you can do this. You can do that in oh, this is Nemo. Is this Proton? Is it Proton pick that? What does it say? Yeah. Hey, Proton, welcome. Yeah, so you've now got you've got this indirect index with X mode, and this is not zero page as well. This is that. So it's really nice. Makes behavior super easy. So um sorry, really distracted by this tune now. Right, where was I? Yeah, I completely lost my track. Yeah, I've added the latest HVSC to this as well. So all the new stuff is on here. If it was in HVSC at Christmas, then it's on here. It should be anyway. Ooh, pardon me. All right, I completely forgot what I was doing. All right, yeah. So we copy that font pointer into here, and then we increment X twice. Before we increment that, because as soon as we save the map pointer, that means we're going to use that font. So we need to make sure that we advance the font pointer here. Then we increase X twice because we're going up in words here. Which is I need to be careful about this. I mean, it doesn't matter for this in it, but I need to be careful about this. So normally you would do these things as an LSB table and an MSB table. I'm not doing here, and I wonder if I probably should. Well, we'll have a look and see if it's going to affect performance in a minute. But I've kind of got that's another thing with the Mega 65. I've got used to not doing that anymore because it's a lot quicker to do these things, and plus you have operations that work on words as well, so it makes more sense to keep things together. So, hey, Carlton. Not for one moment will I stream my struggles. Yeah, I spotted some run and gun video footage. It looks looking really nice as well. It looks really good. So I look forward to seeing that. There's a couple of games actually I'm really looking forward to seeing this year. Yours is one. Monster Go Boomerang is another one. I'm kind of interested in. I'm more interested in Briley Witch Chronicles from Sarah Jane Avery than I am of actually Soul. I hate to say it, but I find Soul Force. It's a great game. It's an amazing game, but it's kind of, to me it feels a little bit boring. It's not exactly what I want to play, to be honest. But technically it's an amazing game, very well done, but just not my sort of game. Um, you're not allowed to write a version of Run and Gun in 2 hours. But I really do like the look of the RPG thing. I like that kind of RPG as well. So okay, so once we've incremented that, we need to compare that to our maximum, which is 20 or 14 in hexadecimal. If it's like, we'll go back. So this is just going to set up the font pointers. So what that's what that's what that's given us is a way to address 10 different characters on the screen. What it's not doing here either is giving us a font index number, which we kind of need. So I'm going to keep the font pointers in zero page because I think that's fast and we're writing two characters here. But for drawing characters on the screen, we're not going to have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create char numbers here. going to fill that like so. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab map.font index. That wouldn't be comma X because that just comes from this. This is comma X, okay. And then this would be okay, do this comma Y. Oh my god, my typing is terrible on this keyboard. I really need to get better at using it. Okay. Let's put a little note to say what we're doing here. So first of all, reserve char space in font set. Record char numbers. Now fill space with chars. Okay, so what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to use I'm just going to use numbers from the character set to do this. Let's find the correct one here. So we've actually got numbers down here. So I'm going to use these numbers first to display them. Once I see that they look right, we'll switch over and start using the font set that we're going to define, and then we'll define some star locations within that font set, and then we'll animate those. I don't know exactly how they animate. We'll have to look at the Cecconoid. I think they've got a little bit of a trail on them, but that's fine. It's kind of similar to the rain effect that we've done. I'm going to take a quick break actually, so I do need to go to the toilet. And when I come back, I think I will open my next cider, but I will also have a rub as well while we're at it. So I will leave you with the quiz, which was coming on in a minute anyway. But it's now going to come on in less than a minute, and I shall be back shortly. So be right back. Let's click that button. Be right back. I am back. Oh, Steps is on the board now. Steps has begun. It's going to be a bit trickier, I think, for Steps to get so far ahead this time. So I'm just pouring a rum here. Do like a bit of cracking. Should maybe kept this in the fridge though, so it's a bit colder. Yeah, so just to clarify on the quiz as well, I don't think it's necessary for the games to look like a cassette 50 competition, because that's, for a start, that's relatively subjective. I mean, obviously there's, if you produce a game that's like full bitmap color, then obviously it doesn't look like a cassette 50 game, but it's fairly kind of subjective to make that judgment. Secondly, I think the limitations that we put in place are kind of forcing that anyway to a certain extent. And I think it's probably better that you try and make the best thing you possibly can given the limitations. Because actually, certainly, I mean, I'm going to be helping to judge this, and certainly one of the criteria I'm going to look for is how much does it not look like. I'm going to actually be looking at the opposite. I'm going to be looking for games that look like they're not um, cassette 50 games, because to me that shows that you have taken the limitations and found a way to make them work for you, and found a way to make difficult limitations not feel so limiting or not appear to be limiting. And so I'll be looking for that. I'll be looking for the kind of technical ability to make it seem like you're using way more memory than you really are. So oh, thank you for the raid, by the way, Prince Phase. I didn't notice you'd come in. Thank you very much. I guess again, you don't normally get to raid me because I don't do Fridays normally. So, but tonight is different. Cheers. And what I will be doing. Oh wow, that's oh, that's strong. Wow. What I will be doing, probably once a month. So I'm going to do it at the end of this month. I'm going to do it at the end of February, and I'll do it just before the competition closes at the end of March. Um, I will check the current crop of games to make sure that they meet the requirements. And if anybody doesn't meet the requirements, I'll just give them a heads up, like, this doesn't meet the requirements because ABC, just so that there isn't a big shock on the final day when the game doesn't qualify. Because it is easy to miss. The competition rules are a little bit strict, and not everybody will do that. So, do I want source? No, no, I don't care too much about source. But I will want the PRGs at some point. Right? I think most of you are either putting them on itch.io, or you're sending into Jamie at RVG, aren't you? So I'll probably work out something with him. So how do you not qualify? No, yeah, if you write to anything over 1,000, then you fail. Um, which is easy to do and not realize. So, for instance, in Basic, if you write a small Basic program and you don't use arrays, then you don't need to do the poke. You don't need to limit the top uh, of memory space, because it's only arrays that get put at the end. You see, so what will happen is that you'll just keep using, and then you'll overflow. So that's fine. So you can get into the situation where you think, oh well, this is absolutely fine. I'm barely using any memory. I'm just going to put a little array in here for high scores, for instance, or something, thinking you've got plenty of room, which you have. But if you don't limit the top of memory, that's where it's going to put them. It's going to put them at the top of memory, and basically, um, you're going to end up kind of losing. Well, not losing, but failing the requirements for the competition because of that. So I'm just going to go through and check all those things. How come I did Friday? Because Twitch was being a pain yesterday. I tried to set stuff. I was trying to set up my overlay, trying to re-import the tune database and things like that. And I need to log into my overlay, and my overlay is connected to Twitch, and Twitch login was being a pain yesterday, and I couldn't log in. So I thought, right, forget it. I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to get stressed out trying to stream. I'll just wait until tomorrow. I'll just do it tomorrow. Plus, I can drink more anyway. So I hope you'll test by a complete reset so we can trick. Yeah, so the test will be done in Vice. I will test it a number of ways unless I'm specifically told to test it a particular way. If I'm told to test it a particular way, I will test it that way. If there's no instructions on how to test it, then I will just go down the route of uh, sorry, just reading Discord. I will go down the route of just trying a few different injector memory options or load from disk options. So okay, cool. All right. So now we need to fill the space with characters. Okay. So I can't even remember where screen RAM is at the moment. So let's have a look at where that is. I'm supposed to be doing more code and less chit chat, and I'm being really bad. Okay, so the screen is here. It says C00. So this is the first line here. So C02A. So this is where we're going to start. And what we're going to do is we're just going to draw characters across the screen till we get to the end. Then we're going to go on to the next row. And this does not need to be fast. It only needs to be done once. So this can be done nice and simply. It doesn't have to be complicated at all. I'm going to use kernel safe global temps. Yeah, I'm gonna use global temps. Yeah, I'm gonna use these actually. So I'm gonna set a label up for these. So okay, so actually, do we have screen? No, I might have that set as a constant somewhere, but probably not. Oh, yeah, I do. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is, first of all, we're just going to set up a 0-page lookup for these things. Nice and simple. Okay, then we can use Y to move across the screen. So we'll use Y as our horizontal position. I'm going to write here. And then X will be our character counter. So I'm going to start this on 0. And the job of the char counter is to every time we, not share counter, we don't need to count. Do you believe in life after love? But we need to count chars. There we go. So what? God, this fucking keyboard. I really need to get used to it. My plan is to release my game like so it's small and crack, then put all the content in after it closes. If there's any code here, that's me remote. Okay, so one thing to bear in mind is that I will be doing the testing in Vice, but what I will be doing is when it comes to putting these games on the tape, what's going to happen is first of all, they're not going to be loaded the same way from tape. This limitation is purely just to give you guys something to learn about, something to chat about, something to kind of get the juices flowing and get you kind of thinking about things in a tricky way. Um, uh, oh yeah, this keyboard is weird. I can't. I've got to get used to it. But when it comes to loading from tape, what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do anyway, is I'm going to write a wrapper piece of code, and what that's going to do is going to take an injection address, an entry point address, which in the case of the ready function would be the ready function, um, and basically a load address. And then what it's going to do, it's going to move all of that code up to 1000. So all of that's going to be at 1000, and there's going to be a loader at 2000. So it's going to load from tape, and then the loader is just going to copy all that code down to where it needs to go, and then jump to a location. So it's going to run a lot easier when it comes to loading from the tape, because it would just be kind of crazy for us to try and make them load exactly as they do in Vice. But also at the same time, I will be testing everything on an Ultimate 64 and probably on a C64C if I can get it built in time. Yeah, it was brutal at first, but when you understand how to use the memory to its limit, it went great. Yeah, and this is the thing. I think it's what I think's really cool about this thing is it's forcing you to learn about that area of memory. It's an area of memory that most C64 devs don't really mess with. Other than the screen RAM, they don't really do anything with that memory down there, and it's a waste because there is memory down there that you can use. So the next time you're writing a game and you're running out of space, you'll be able to look at that area and go, "Oh, actually, I could move my stack down to here and use the top end of stack. I could use this area in 0200. I could use 0300. You know, you've got areas now that you can use that you wouldn't have thought of using before. So I think that's a really useful thing to learn as well. Plus, it lets you understand a little bit about what's happening in the boot sequence as well, because the boot sequence is something that a lot of developers don't really think about. You don't think about what happens when you turn the machine on. You just wait for the ready and then you do your load. But what you actually start to learn is so when I turn this on, what happens is the cold restart vector gets called. That calls this in the kernel. That goes through the kernel, and then the kernel calls other vectors like the ready, the char out prompt and stuff like that. So yeah, um, learned about a lot about that space. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a really good thing. So I'm glad that's been a nice side effect of the competition. I've kind of held back from helping too. I posted a document on itch, and I've kind of stepped back from it a little bit because what I realized was happening was I posted some code which was meant to be a kind of a stepping off block, something that here's how you get something to load. But I realize there are things in there that probably need to be changed here and there, but I want people to investigate them themselves. So um, you guys have zero page. Yes, yes, we do. Well, what does I don't know. I've never used the Spectrum memory layout, but I'm guessing Spectrum has something similar, right? Because I know on Game Boy you have high mem, which is FF80 onwards, I think, which is like half a page of fast kind of memory with its own instructions. Um, so I'm imagining there's something similar on the Spectrum, because I don't, those Z80 instructions. There's no zero page. Okay. Okay, so you don't have a like a fast memory area. Yeah, zero page is great. And on Mega 65, you get as many of them as you want. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through this char counter. So I'm going to actually put these char numbers in here. So I'm just going to disable that one there for now. When I re-enable this, it will show the correct characters. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the character font in here. I've been really slow. I need to get back into the coding, guys. I think this is why I'm being a bit shit with the speed today. Okay, so this looks like it is 208, I guess. So let's put that in here. Let's just cancel that out for a sec. Let's just do this with. No, let's do it with. Let's do it with. Like so. So what this is going to do is he's just going to print. Actually, it's too many. It should only be 10. Like that. There we go. So now I can load char numbers X, and I can store that at uh, screen target Y. And then I can. Okay, so first I need to do the increase X. Now, if the X reaches 10, we'll call that loop. If the X reaches 10, then I need to reset it back to 0. Okay. So that's just going to count through the characters. It's going to go from 0 to 9, 0 to 9, over and over and over and over again. Remember this game has to be on cassette next Friday. I'm glad I'm glad I've never had to go through that. I mean, I've been through deadlines, obviously, as a coder, but I don't even have to do that anymore. Cybersecurity is very different. Cybersecurity is more like, okay, we need to test something. They have a deadline. They would like to meet it. You can potentially say, no, this isn't good enough. You're not going to meet your deadline. Um, so what we want you to do is we want you to spend half of the time between now and their deadline, seeing if you can find anything wrong with it. That's it. There's no like, right, you've got to spend this amount of time in it. You know, you've got it, it's very open ended. It's a very very nice very nice difference to software development, I've got to say. I feel more like a QA with a bit more kind of technical stuff, or like a very technical QA rather than a developer, even though I do a little bit of code here and there. Okay, and then I need to increase Y, and if Y reaches the end of the screen, then we stop. Otherwise, we go and we loop. So I'm just going to do one line first, just to see if this has worked. And then if this has worked, we'll do the rest of the lines. And then if that's worked, we'll switch to the real character set and see if we can't draw something in there. You get relative and absolute jumps. Yeah, you do. That's the other thing that's nice with Mega 65 as well, as you get why is that not loading? Is it because that's open? I've made a mistake. Oh yeah, made a mistake. You get because it's map load, that's why. You get long and short jumps as well. And also you get branch always, which is really nice. Mainly because you get to type the word bra into your code a lot. It's like a lot of the time I might have like jumps in my code that just jump to a thing here, but you can use that instead, and that will always branch when it reaches it. So branch always. It's kind of nice. And then if you want a branch to be long, you just put an L in front of it, and it becomes an absolute branch rather than a relative branch. Or I think it's still, it might still be relative actually, but I think it's just 16-bit relative. On the next Mega 65 stream, I might go through the instruction set a little bit in detail and kind of show how you would use the various things, because there are some really nice tricks that you can do. Like I really like using the stack. You'll use the stack a lot more on the Mega 65, mainly because you can push all the registers directly to the stack. You don't have to go through the accumulator like you do on 6502, and that makes it quite powerful for a few reasons. One, it makes it really easy to just store a register and get it back again in a single instruction on either side of the block that you want to do. And it's fast, it's one cycle. Yeah, see, that's where 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah, cool. All right, so we need to do that all the way down the screen now, but with alternating things. And the other thing it's really good for is transferring between registers as well. So you can use transfer accumulator to whatever, same as you do in 6502. But to transfer X to Y, you would normally either have to store X somewhere and then load it into Y, or you would have to transfer X to the accumulator and then transfer accumulator to Y. Now you just push it onto the stack from one and pull it onto the other. So 2 cycles and you transfer it between registers. It's nice. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to use kg temp 3 as our row counter. I'm using 3 because we need 1 and 2 because it's a word here. But we're going to use this as our row counter. And what that means is basically here, we're just going to put the number of rows we want, which is going to be, oh, I don't know actually how many rows that's going to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 14 rows. Okay. So we put 14 in here. We store that in row counter. And then we can decrease row counter. And if that's equal to 0, then we jump to finish. Oops. Otherwise, what we need to do is we need to increment our screen target here. And then we'd need to jump back to here, this horizontal position here. So I'm going to make another loop thing here called outer loop. I'm going to be consistent with the capitalization. I've started using less of this as well in my Mega 65 because I'm trying to make the code a bit neater, because I'm starting to do more complex code, because I can pretty much do whatever the hell I want while I'm writing that. It doesn't seem to limit me very much. So you've got so much freaking raster time, it's crazy. You can do what you want. Okay, so in that case, we need to increment the screen targets here. So I'm going to take this thing here. So Okay. Then that's going to increment our screen targets, and then we need to jump to outer loop. But what we need to do at this point is we just need to increment this by a random value. So that's what we need to finish doing. Outer loop there. But we need to increment the value in X by a random amount. So the way I'm going to do that is, let me think. Trying to think of the simplest way to do this without. Okay. I think I've got. Have I got a random function? Please tell me I've got a random function. So it's got to have one somewhere. Did I put? Yeah, I did. Okay, utils.random. I thought I had somewhere. Okay, so that's going to give me a value in an accumulator, and that with 0, 7. So it's now going to be between 0 and 7. I'm going to store that in a temporary location. I'm going to use kgtemp4. Transfer X to the accumulator. Actually, it doesn't really matter if it uses a carry bit or not here. In fact, it won't do because it'll have been absorbed by this. There we go. And then I need to compare that to 10. If it's less than 10, so you can just jump straight to the outer loop, kind of. Yeah, okay. Oh, no. We'll do that here. So we'll transfer accumulator back to X. There we go. Otherwise, what I need to do is I need to subtract 10 from it. Carry is clear if we jump to here, so it'll be set for it. Yeah, okay, that's fine. There we go. That should give us 14 rows of numbers 0 to 9, but staggered. Fingers crossed. Anyway, that's the idea. Did that load? Oh, yeah, it loaded. Okay. Hey, Cosmin, welcome. Happy New Year. How are you doing? Well. Okay. Unfortunately, I have to keep going off this screen and back on. This is slightly frustrating, but it's because of the way this area works here. Okay. That looks to be fine. There's a little bit too much repetition, like these rows. Why are these repeating? These should not be repeating. Okay, so that should not be happening. Because it should get to the end of the row, and then it should take the next number, which in this case would be 4. We should add a number up to 7. So how it's got to 4 again, I don't know. So that's not quite right. Okay. Take a random number, store it in kgtemp4. Transfer the X to the accumulator X, because it's never going to be more than 10. And add our value from kgtemp4. If it's 10 or more, subtract 10 from it. Otherwise, jump straight to here. Transfer it back to the X register. Jump to outer loop, which comes to here. Okay. What am I doing wrong there? That is strange indeed. That should not be doing that at all. Well, let's try a lower value. If I do add 3, it definitely should not be going over now because the most we ever move forward is 3. But it could be moving 0. Yes, that's what it's done. It's moved 0. Yeah, so if you get to here, we're on 4, which is here, but then it's added 0. Okay, so it needs to be 3 like that, and then I need to add 3. There you go. Now it can't screw up. So yeah, it's just I should be adding something, a minimum amount as well as a maximum amount. Okay, right, that should be fine. I think let's give that a try. And then we'll go and have a quick look at the Cecconoid screen that we're trying to replicate and see if we can see. I think it's lines, which should be relatively easy to do. You just need a start and a length, basically. And then what you do is you draw a dot where the start is, and you clear a point from the end, and then you advance on the next frame. Then you draw a start and clear from the end. So in theory, it should work. Okay, so 0361838369258. Yeah, I mean that looks pretty random to me. That looks like a random grid of numbers, right? Even though they are sequential, it does look like a random grid of numbers. I mean, there's a lot too many 8s and 3s down this side, but I mean, we can change that actually. So if I was to do add 2 here and 7 here, hopefully that should give us a little bit more random entropy. Well, it won't give us entropy, but it will hopefully appear more random. The entropy obviously stays the same, but oh, for fuck's sake. So did anybody play anything new over Christmas that we might not know about? And I don't count Cyberpunk here. Everybody knows about Cyberpunk. I'm sick of hearing the memes about. I actually really enjoy Cyberpunk. I've really enjoyed it. I've done 2 of the completions now. I intend on doing more as well. Really enjoying it. 0842. Still seems a little bit kind of repetitive, but yeah. Dungeon Keeper 2. Wow. Okay. Didn't they do? Didn't Oh shit! What they called? Was it Mythic? I think it's Mythic. Did a Dungeon Keeper mobile? I think. Okay, I'm a bit concerned that these are all even numbers. So I want to try it again just to see if that was fluke. You've been doing side quests, yeah. That's what I've been doing. So I completed it once, and then I completed some more of the side quests, and went back and completed it again, knowing that I'd get a different story the second time, a different completion the second time. Apparently, there's like 5 different endings. And now I'm just kind of working through each area. I've basically started at the top left of the map, and I'm just working my way through the map, clearing it all off. So you played off to A&E with gallbladder failure. Oh my god. Tutorial was shit. The bonus drug level was great. Oh, sorry to hear that, dude. Do very little gaming over the holidays outside of learned a couple of NES speedruns. I've really got into watching Super Mario 64 speedruns. I just think they're amazing. There's a couple of young lads that play it, and I think they're really incredible, the stuff they do. So I'd love to learn how to do even 5% of the stuff they do in those speedruns. I'd love to know how to do. So I'm waiting for my Famicom as well. When I get that, I'm going to do some Mario gaming on that as well. But I might try and get Super Mario set up on something, probably on the Atari. Actually, I bet the Atari would run it really nicely, and just have a go. So, oh, what was the quiz? I missed that quiz. Badlands. What was the platform? Atari ST. Oh, okay. Who got that as well? And SP got that. Awesome. Oh dear. The PC version with Shallow level hardware is fine. Yeah, it's not. It really isn't. So, um, it's kind of it is kind of flaky, but it's playable. So some insult videos on YouTube. No, who's that? Oh yeah, I've watched the whole thing around Dreams. Carl Jobst's video on it and the kind of investigation he did around that is really really interesting. Um, there was also I don't know if you saw this over Christmas as well. There was a young lad, young American lad, who posted a blindfold speedrun of Super Mario 64. That would I mean I don't speedrun and I could tell it wasn't fucking blindfold. It was bullshit. He was dodging things that you couldn't possibly dodge. Hello, you absolute legends. Yes, exactly. Carl Jobst is very good. But yeah, it's worth a watch. One of the top speedrunners, Cheese, I think he's called, um, did a did a kind of reaction video to it, and it's just brilliant watching a very very talented speedrunner absolutely rip to pieces this kid pretending he was doing it blindfold. Um, an extra life would spawn and go off in a random direction, and he would just turn to face it and go after the extra life. And it's like, well, you're obviously not blindfold then, because you know where the extra life is. But people would believe in it, so yeah. And there's some interesting task speed runs as well on those as well. So I was watching Mario 120 star task speed runs. So just jealousy you can play actually better. Yeah, there was a few places where he was doing some pretty impressive stuff. But it was impressive if you were just speedrun it normally. And he seems like a fairly competent speedrunner. I mean, he was getting decent um he was getting yeah, exactly. He was getting decent times. He was getting 18-minute times for was it 16 star, which apparently isn't bad. So right, okay. Okay, so this looks to be all right. I'm still a bit concerned that it's not as random as it could be, and we've definitely got a repetition here. So let me just reverse that back a little bit. I think we'll go with adding 4 and ending it with 3. Yeah, that's probably all right. So now what we'll do is we'll actually use the real characters once I test this and see if we can't see a star pan sort of thing. Oh yeah, it was so obvious he was cheating, and he's come out and apologized as well, and it's just such a cringy apology. Like he's not really apologizing. He's saying, "Oh guys, you didn't understand. I tried to make it clear that this was a kind of a fake run," and it's like you didn't though. You did not you did not make it clear. You actually tried really hard to make people believe. Uh, yeah. Uh, just search for blindfold SM64 apology. It'll be top link almost certainly. Okay, that's good enough for me. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some. Yeah, I was just memeing. Yeah, exactly. It's that kind of defense, and it's really, really, it's cringy. It's cringy, and you can tell that really deep down what he's thinking is, yes, I've got some publicity now, um, which I think is his aim all along. Because some of what he says is right. There's no way on earth anybody who knows anything about it would believe that he'd done that. He wouldn't have been able to submit that. Um, but I don't think that was his aim. His aim was to get people to follow him on Twitch, and to basically become somebody who's known. He is a fairly decent player, so he can probably turn it around there. Yeah. Anyway, let's not rant about Super Mario, but I have enjoyed watching those. I've been enjoying those, and I've been enjoying watching Chris Ramsey as well. I don't know if anybody follows him on YouTube. So he's a magician, but he does puzzle solves as well. So he gets these kind of, like you get like these metal puzzles, so like it would be like two chain links linked together. You have to undo them, sort of thing. But he gets all these kind of complicated ones, and he did one the other day, and it was absolutely amazing. I think it was Runes of what's the Riot Games? Is it Runes of All Terror or something? I can't remember the name of the game. It's some card game from the League of Legends people. Um, and they sent him this custom made um, puzzle box, and it's one of the best things I've ever seen. It was so cool how we had to figure out how to open it and stuff. Very, very, very cool. Chris Ramsey, definitely worth a watch. If you like magic and you like puzzles and stuff, then it's worth watching. Okay, so we have filled the space with chars, so I'm going to put that here. And then what we need is some star print routines. So now we've got 10 characters. What we have is we have a grid, a pixel grid, which is 80 pixels by 8 pixels. And so what we need now is to be able to place some stars in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a stars thing. I'm going to give it its own scope because it's probably going to need some extra stuff in here. But for now, we're just going to give it an X and a Y position. And we're also going to have max stars. Ghosts and goblins. Um, and then here, basically, I'm going to fill these with some random values, and these are going to be random values generated assembly time, and they're going to contain random X positions and random Y positions. And for now, that's all we're going to do. We're just going to add those random things in there. And then we need a routine that's going to draw those dots into these places. We need a routine that's going to clear the dots from those places. And that's what we're going to write now. So we can put the chars back in now. So you'll see now if I was to run this now, in fact, let me just quickly run it. What we're going to get is that screen is going to be blank. But what will happen is as we go on and off the screen, we'll get to a point where the characters for one of the previous screens will end up in that location, and um, we'll actually see some stuff on the screen. It won't be correct. It will be random data from. So not loaded. Oh, there we go. What are you trying to do? You're trying to codex tune. Do you know what it is on why has it suddenly got really warm in here? Is it on Deep Sid? Oh, why can't I type in that? There we go. Yeah. Oh, Zap's found it. Okay. Did anyone pick this one? No. Okay. So it's going to try and play mine now, which I don't think is the one you intended, right? So I'll skip that one. Go to this one. VCS overheated. I'm looking forward to giving this a try. I don't know how you get Windows onto it, but that's what I want to do at some point. Is put Windows on it. But it's honestly it's a nice little machine. It feels well built. It doesn't feel too tacky. I mean, it's plastic all over, but it is actually wood on the front as well. Um, yeah, it feels pretty nice. It's got I mean, it is essentially just a laptop board. That's what they've done here, and it's even the power supply is a laptop power supply. Um, but yeah, essentially they've designed a laptop board that doesn't have a battery, and that's pretty much it. Doesn't have a keyboard either. Great value for money. I don't know yet. I haven't turned it on. Um, which I can't even remember how much I paid for it actually. It was on Kickstarter. I mean these are probably worth 40 to 50 pounds each anyway. So these are wireless joysticks. So you've got the wireless classic Atari joystick, which actually I don't know if you see that ring there, but I believe that lights up as you move the stick around. So that's kind of a nice touch. I mean, it's kind of pointless, but um, it looks kind of nice. Uh, and and a controller which actually looks fairly decent. I mean, it looks like a good quality Xbox controller. So I think these are worth about probably worth about £40 each if you were to buy the equivalent online. So that's that's £80, and then the machine itself is an memory upgradable and hard drive upgradable. A Ryzen 3 machine. I think it's a dual core two cores, 4 threads, 2.6 base or 2.3 base, with 8 gig of RAM. Can be upgraded to 16 or maybe even 32 actually. Definitely 16 it can be upgraded to, but it comes with 8. It's got 32 gig of space built into the board, but it's got an M2 socket, so you can put a better hard drive in it. And then you've got the leads that come in. I mean, it's probably not worth. You could probably build the same machine for much cheaper, but it's small, right? I mean, if you were to build the same machine, um, it's not gonna be this small because you're gonna have to use kind of off the shelf parts, which they haven't had to do. They've got some custom stuff in here. So that kind of adds a little bit of cost on, and the case is actually really nice. So yeah, Fistmaster, it is probably 60 to £100 worth of computer, but in a form factor that you wouldn't be able to do if you were just to buy the off the shelf parts. So that's kind of nice. Uh, is it worth the money? I can't remember what I paid for it. It was so long ago. It really was freaking ages ago. I think I paid $300 or something for the collector's edition. So that's what 220 or something like that. So, but the really funny thing is it comes with Linux built in, with a custom Atari thing. You can see already it's kind of drawing random stuff, and this will change as I go on and off the screen. You see, so it shows it's working. Uh, Actually, I probably need to go on to a different screen to see it. Um, yeah, so it's got Linux built into it with an Atari OS, but I'm basically just gonna get rid of that, put Windows on it. Probably put. I think I've got. Actually, I've got a couple. So I've got. What is this? I think this is a 512 gig. Probably big enough actually. Yeah, a 500 gig M2 SSD there. So I'll probably stick that in it. That's a SATA SSD. That's a big storage drive. Put Windows on it and basically put RetroArch and all the games on it. And so I will be running Atari games on it, but not through their system, and I won't be paying on their store to buy extra games. Okay, so this is working. This is drawing these. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a clear routine, which is going to clear these things. I'm going to knock it down one more. So I apologize if it goes too small. Let me know, or sit closer to your screens. Okay, so this is going to be clear star chars. So this needs to happen once every frame. This is going to happen before the rest of the stars are drawn. So I suppose it's a nice thing to have that not many people. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I got it. I got it because I actually believed in the project, which I think was probably my biggest mistake. But now I've got it. It's not an awful looking piece of kit. There are some weird design choices on it. I don't know if you can see. It's a little bit weird, right? So it's got this rounded bezel on it here. But I don't know if you can see right at the edges there. It's not. It doesn't match the rounded on the ends. I don't know if it's quite hard to see, but you can see how it's kind of pointy on an edge here. It's like there's a few bits like that that just make me think they haven't really thought about the design of this properly. Um, but other than minor gripes, it's kind of nice. So oh, my mic's miles away, literally unusable. Yeah, it better fucking work when I turn it on. I have not turned it on yet, so it'd be really annoying if it didn't. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is we need to clear these star charts. So we're going to call this routine. All right. Then in here, we're actually going to do the clearing, and that is going to be we have in our locations here, which I'm going to copy just down to here for now. In these locations, we have 20 lookups. So, but sorry, 10 lookups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load. Pardon me. I'm going to load that location there, and then I'm going to use kg temp again, but this time I'm going to call it char target, like so. Wait, hang on. Wait, what is that? Hang on. What's going on here? This is wrong, isn't it? Yeah. Oh no, this is right. This is right. Okay. Okay, so this seems a little bit weird, but what I'm trying to do here now is I'm trying to create a pointer that points to this area here, the first of the screen tab. The reason I'm doing that is because what I want to be able to do is load load a value, say well, be 0, and then store that at our char target, which is pointing to this here. Which is basically like doing this, right? But the reason I'm not using screen temp directly is because I'm going to increment this value as we go along. So what I'm going to do is basically we're going to have 8 locations that we need to do. We'll go backwards because we do want this to be as quick as possible. So we'll decrease y branch. If it's still positive, then we'll go back to here. Right now, when we've done that, we've actually loaded the first location here. So I'm going to use X to count, and I'm going to count backwards for speed. I'm just going to set that to 0A, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease X, and if that's equal to 0, we jump to exit. However, if it's not equal to 0, then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to increment this value by 2, and the increment is 0 page 5 cycles, whereas loading, adding, storing, yes, I might as well just increment twice. Okay, so increment the char target twice, and then jump to loop. This is not going to be 0 at this point, so what I'm going to use is a branch. But byte say actually it really doesn't matter, does it? If I say, but yeah, I'll just use jump, just makes it easier to read. Okay, so this should clear all the stars. So now if I run this, I shouldn't see anything in those stars at all. Should just they should always be blank. And we'll test that by putting some different values in just to see if it is properly clearing them or if we're just if there's something else going on. But it should in theory be blank all the time. Okay, it's not, but it has weirdly it seems to have blanked an area out here. Okay, let's go back forward again. Okay, not sure what's going on there. Let's have a look. So I should be loading the location of screen temp 20, which is in 0 page, storing at a char target, which is also in 0 page, which is in KD temp 1 here. Screen temp should be our font pointer locations. They should be increasing as we go along. Okay. I think we might need to go and have a look at these values in this location because it doesn't look like this is working correctly. Effects is equal to 0, increase target. Okay, yeah, let's go and have a look at those values. I don't think this is quite right, so right, let's close that. Let's close that. Let's have a look where char target is. So as I say, if you just do a search through all open files and folders, it should give you the DBG file, which should tell you where that is in 0 page. It's by far the easiest way to find things. Oh, God's sake, I've opened it. There we go. Oh, sorry, not char target. We need. Oh well, yeah, char target is fine. I can. Well, no, actually, let's look for screen temp 20. That's what I'm looking at here. 0019. Okay, so 0019 is where these start. So let's go have a look. So I can just open it, kind of. Yes. So 0019 is here. So what we should see when we enter this screen is that all from this location onwards, there should be 10 words that define font lookup locations. So there will be like C800 to CF100 or something like that. Okay, so it looks like they are. You can see C8A0 and they are consecutive as well. We're definitely getting consecutive values here. 02 is not pointing to those though. It's pointing to something else. But this is in KG temp, so this is, I mean, this is kind of likely to happen. Oh, and actually 2B is this one here. So it looks like it has actually gone through. Interesting. It seems like this hasn't worked for some reason. Everything about this should be working, but it's... Is this init happening too soon, maybe? Okay, let's put a breakpoint and see what is happening. It could be that the init is happening before the screen is fully scrolled in which case that's not going to be the right place to do it, and we're going to need somewhere else to do this. Which is going to be fun. Hopefully that's not the case, because if that is the case, we probably need another behavior method. God damn it. Is it quicker to go down? I think it is quicker to go down. I don't know why I've been going that way. Okay, so it's broken there, but the screen has loaded at this point. The screen is there. And there doesn't appear to be anything additional that needs to run here. But it only seems to clear this block here for some reason. Strange. Okay, so if I go down, yeah, I don't even know what it is drawing here. But it feels like it's drawing. Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that. That's not drawing the right characters in place. It's drawing something else in these locations. But if I get rid of that, then it doesn't do that. So it's almost like the screen lookup is being wrong. It's using this screen lookup instead of using Char target KD temp one. Okay. Oh. Oh wait, no, this is only 0 page. This has to be 0 page. Oh wait, hang on. No, that's right. Hang on, am I doing something really, really stupid here? Yes, I'm doing something. I'm being fucking dumb. That's what I'm being. No, I'm not. Oh no, yes I am. Yes, I am being. Oh man, I'm confused now. What am I? I'm doing something wrong here. In the second routine, you use screen look as an immediate, not an address. Yes, which, yeah, I don't think it is that's the problem, but I'm okay. So what I'm trying to do is I shouldn't be storing it. I need self mod. Is what I need. Mm-mm. I think that's the problem. Is because I'm trying to do an indirect lookup from a single address, which is nowhere near the screen lookup codes. Which is why. Oh, another ST game. Yeah, I think that's going to be the problem. It's just my stupid brain not working properly. I've been too busy doing anything else, but that. Oh, crossout would be a good guess here. What the hell is that? Oh, is it? Keep quiet. I think I know what it is. I'll call the dragon. I'm going to say it when it gets right to the end. I think I know what it is. I think it is Dragon Breed. There we go, it cleared. Okay, yeah. So what I was doing there is I was trying to reference in a loop. I wanted to go through the addresses in a loop. So we create this list of font pointers basically for the 10 characters that make up the strip basically. Um, so what I was trying to do was address them here like so. Um, but the way I was doing it is I was trying to store the location in another zero page and then use that as a look. And of course, it wasn't going to work. That would be a double indirect, and that wouldn't work. So instead, what I'm doing is I'm storing the location directly in the instruction here, using self-modifying code, and then doing it that way. Actually, would make it tiny bit faster, I guess. Although maybe not because I haven't really changed anything. Well, I mean, it makes it faster than it not working. So there we go. Thanks for the follow, Power96. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. It's glorious Friday evening. Okay, so what I want to do before I finish for the night, and we try out the Atari, I want to get some stars drawing and moving. It's been a slow night. I need to get back into the swing of things. So let's have a go at getting those to work. So first of all, I'm just going to put some value in here. So that won't fail to compile. So this is good now. Could this be quicker? Let's have a look. I'd say this is relatively fast. Maybe don't need to do this there. Can do that outside here. Because we don't use the accumulator anywhere else in here. So once it's set to 0, we don't need to keep doing it again. So that will make that ever so slightly quicker. This is probably the bit you would want to speed up if you could. Jump to 3, branch with an instruction would still be 3 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You'd save a byte, but you wouldn't really change much. The reason I'm doing branch if equal to exit rather than branch if not equal to loop, I'm moving this down here. So we could also do this, right? Actually, that would be quicker, I think, because now you've not got the jump. I've got into the habit of jumping forwards to exits now, because taking a branch is more cycles than not taking it. So if you've got a loop that runs 8 times, you want it to not take the branch 7 times and then take the branch. But this would actually be quicker, so that's fine. Get rid of that label. Okay, I don't think I can make that much faster. These increments you can maybe add to. Is the carry going to be set? I could clear the carry up here. We don't do any comparisons, so maybe I think inks 0-page increments are 5 cycles. I think loading a 0 page and storing a 0 page is 3. Actually, yeah, that would save a little bit. Okay, so let's do that. So smod +1 add 02 store smod +1. Okay, so that's going to save about 2 cycles, I think. We do need to clear the carry bit here just to make sure, but that's only 2 cycles once, as opposed to saving 20 cycles by choosing 2 out here. So is there a way I can utilize this maybe instead of the, that's not going to work, is it? Because we're already going backwards here. Okay, that's fine. I think that's about as fast as it can be. It doesn't need to be super fast, but I would like it to be optimum. It is a canvas clear after all. So okay, so plot star. So what we need to be able to plot here is a star given an X and a Y position on here. So we're going to start by just plotting a single star given an X and a Y. And then we can use that routine here to do some tests. Like we can draw some points in the corners and lines and stuff and just see that it's working right. So in order to plot, what we basically need to do, so it has to be STA, so it has to be 0. What do you mean? Oh yes, shit, you're right. You're right. Actually, yeah, so the other, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, good spot. If I had my little AMK panel, you would be getting some points now. Ah, shit. Now the question is that going to be fast? No, that means the increment's quicker. All right. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Because if you add the load in as well there, then you actually go back to the same number of cycles, but now you have to have a CLC at the beginning, so you'll note them down. They're not going to count. They're not going to count. It's going to be a fresh leaderboard. I'm sure you'll do very well, but it will be a fresh leaderboard of some kind. Thanks for the resub, Booney. Appreciated. Yeah, but well spotted there. Well spotted there. That would probably driven me mad because I didn't actually test it then. I did some changes and didn't test it, so that would have been quite bad. A habit I recommend people try not to follow. If you optimize some code, test it and test it as soon as it's testable. Test it. Okay, why is it all? Everything's weird on my panel for some reason up here. Don't know why. Okay. So to plot a star, we have an X and we have a Y. The X is going to be from 0 to 80, and then we have a Y, which is going to be our thing going down. So the first thing we need to do is we need to convert the X into an offset. So given, let's type out what we need to do, right? So given X, we need to figure out which char 0 to 10, 0 to 9. Now it's 80 across, so we could do that by doing X divided by 8, and that will give us a value from 0 to 9, which is great. We also need to know define X within that char, and that is equal to, what is that going to be equal to? That's going to be equal to X and 8, X and 7. Okay, so that's going to give us which character we're in and how far across that character we are. Then we need to grab we need to turn find X into a power of 2, which we can use a table. Okay, that's fine. That will give us the exact bit value we need to turn on. Okay, and then Y is just the offset within that char. Okay, so Y position is offset byte within. This is something else I've been doing a lot more recently as well. Is writing out what I want to do at the beginning of the function and then just kind of working there. Again, it's a kind of it's a side effect of writing Mega 65 code. One thing you will notice as you do it is you will write longer, much longer, much more complex methods because you've got the time to do it now. You can do all these things. Um, so I've started kind of doing this, and I kind of like this approach. Um, it's not quite right in a flow chart. I've done it in a few other places as well. I think I've done it in here in a few places. I think we were looking at some before. Um, I can't remember where it was now. I think it was in the map load code. It was somewhere anyway. It's just a good idea. Yeah, here we go. If you've got kind of something that's slightly complex, just write it out. Once you've written it out, it will be easier to do it. Some people will say do sequence diagrams or your flow charts and stuff, but it's really not that necessary unless you're documenting it for other people to use and they haven't had any experience with your code base whatsoever, then this is probably enough for the most part. You can leave these in, you can take them out, you do what you want. I like to leave them in because then I can look at them later. I'm not saying don't ever do sequence diagrams, by the way. If any of you are developers, please don't think I'm saying sequence diagrams and flowcharts are rubbish because they do have a purpose. But I just think for assembly code, it's probably a little bit overkill. I think good comments is enough. Given X, we need to figure out which chart. Okay, so let's assume we're going to pass things in as X and Y, or actually, let's assume that we're going to pass in an index into here instead. So we'll say X is our star index. So xreg equals star index. Let's change this to xpos. Just so it's obvious that we're talking about positions and not the X register. Okay, so if we've got the reg index here, then the star index, then what we need to do is stars dot, is it capital X or is it, I can't remember what it is now. Damn it. No, little x. This is where it should be consistent. Okay, load stars dot x comma x. And then we need to AND that with 7. That will give us the fine x. Try to think of an easier way to do this without loading it twice. There really is no way to do it. Is there? If I need to use this number twice, I'm going to push it onto the stack because I think. Oh no, because that's no, it's still going to be the same. It doesn't matter. All right, let's just do it this way. It's fine. All right. So this is our fine x. Let's set some labels up as well. So this will be char target this time. We'll call it char mask. This is going to be the bit value that we need to put in. So, for instance, for the right hand side, i.e., a fine value of 0 will be 128, and a fine value of 7 will be 1, and all the values in between. So this is our fine x. So we're going to use this now to get the power of 2. So do I have any tables? Do I have a power of 2 table? I do have a power of 2 table, but obviously this is the oh, I have a reverse power of 2 as well. That's great. Awesome. Can I do, oh no, because I need to AND it anyway. So there we go. Transfer it to Y. Okay, that's our char mask. So store that in here. Okay, now we need to get the char 0 to 9. So divided by 8. So this is half in it. So, oh, I learned a little trick as well. I like to have little mnemonics. I struggle remembering which is my left and right when it comes to halving or doubling. So one of the things that I've thought is if you take a prominent sound from each of the words double and half, you get l, double, blah, blah, double, left, and har, like a pirate, har, for right. Easy to remember. Boom. Ridiculous, but that's how I'm going to remember it from now on. I was getting sick of not remembering it, so it is kind of stupid, but it will do the trick. Okay, so now the interesting thing here is the reason we need to figure out which char it is so that we can then look up its value in screen temps here. But to do that, we need a double the value. So if I've got the char as 0, I need to double it to 0. If the char is 4, I need to double it to 8, and that gives me the index in here that I need. But I'm already dividing something by 8 here, so all I have to do is knock one of these off. And I've now got that value. So I can, if I transfer that to Y and then go load screen temp 20, comma Y, 0, and store that at char target plus 0. And then do the same with plus 1. There we go. I've got my X lookup now. And finally, we have the Y pos. And that's really, really simple. We can load that directly into the Y, and it's just Y here. And all that is basically is the offset that we need on this char target. So now I can load char target. Oops. Number Y. I can AND that with the all that with the value that I need, which is char mask here, which is going to turn on the value at this location, and then store that back again. And there we go. We've plotted a pixel at that location. So now if I put another routine here called plot all stars, what we will do is we will just do load X. In fact, let's just integrate into this bottom one here. I don't think we need two separate functions for this. Let's just say up here for each star. And we'll go backwards through this loop because it makes sense for us to go backwards to just save as many cycles as we can here. Call this loop. I don't think there is any extra jumps here. No. Okay. And then here we just decrease X while it's still positive. Go back to loop. Okay. For now, we'll just call it here. Hopefully now we should see some stars in this location. And if we do see some stars, then I'm going to be very happy. I think we'll have a bit of time. We should have a bit of time to move them as well. Good night, Digital Stefan. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the gift subs as well. Appreciate it. Good evening, Monopoly. Hope you're doing well. Load Y doesn't support absolute Y mode. Oh, of course I'm being stupid. Where's that? Load Y stars X. Comment. Let's see, that should be X. That's why. I'm not sure what's going to happen with other games after Pick and Mix and this is done. Uh, I honestly at this moment I don't really know what I want to do. Whether I want to keep doing C64 games or move exclusively to Mega 65. Hopefully, the Mega 65 content will still be relevant to everybody anyway. But it's going to be the same, isn't it? Because yeah, let's make sure it's the same. Which it is. That's cool. Okay. It does. It does flash, which is okay. Why is it flashing? I guess because those characters. I'm not entirely sure why they flash actually. I need to have a think about that a little bit because it shows something and then they clear and then switch as before draw first time. Yeah, they should be blanks though. They should be. It should be blank before those are drawn. Oh, oh no 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 no. That's not good. Uh, it's stuck in FB. FB. Okay. Is it to do? It's probably to do with the frickin' self mod, isn't it? It's almost certainly going to be that. So. You think back in the days it would have been possible to cross-compile a C64 software on something more powerful? Yeah, in fact, it was done certainly towards the end of the C64's life. It was done quite a lot on faster hardware. The Tandy TRS-80 was used quite a lot for development. The C128 was quite common once that came out. I know the Roland brothers used C128s. I think John did his coding on a C128, and I actually think Andy did his sorry, Steve did his graphics on an Amiga actually in Deluxe Paint and stuff. Um, so yeah, these things were definitely happening, and yeah, and then PCs. Obviously, when PCs became more and more powerful, it became more and more useful to do it like that. Um, what else? There was a few other machines that we used as well. I think I can't remember what they were, but yeah, I mean cross compilation definitely. It was probably only 2 or 3 years of people using the C64 itself before people started writing stuff um, on other machines. Yeah. Was it possible to even back then to emulate? No, no, not the way we do now. No. Um, so what they tend to have user port interfaces or stuff so they could well there were two ways. It depended on what systems you were working on, but on the C64, as far as I know, it used to be like user port interfaces, so you'd have to load it over some kind of interface onto the machine. I know on things like the NES and stuff, they had to write to special disks and things. Yeah. Yeah, that was about, yeah, I guess it was Cosmin. Yeah, I want to. The thing is, I think the stuff I do on the Mega 65 is going to be useful anyway to coders. There's still going to be tricks that you can apply to the Commodore that are just about the raw code and how the code is written. Um, but my one thing I've really realized is that what the Mega 65 needs, um, if it's going to be successful, is it needs more visibility of what's being made for it, what it can do, and things like that. And I'm in a fairly unique situation where I have the kind of ability to kind of help do that, and I'm really really enjoying coding for it. So it's not like I'd just be doing it have a kind of sense of duty to the machine or anything. I'd be doing it because I really, really enjoy doing it, and I really want it to do well. Compared to the Next, it's an incredible machine, and the Next managed to sell 8,000 units or something like that. So, I mean, if this can sell half that many, I'd be very happy. It certainly deserves to, and it's a much better machine than the Next. Uh, in fact, I think there are people working on Next cores for it as well, so it's certainly capable of doing it. Um, but yeah, I probably am going to switch. I think I mean I still will do some C64 stuff, but what I want to start to try and do is do some more stuff for me. I want to do some stuff that isn't ports of things, isn't yeah, it's just stuff that I think up and things that I do. I want to put stuff out a little bit quicker. I don't want to rush stuff out, but I want to put some stuff out a little bit quicker. But I also want to do some stuff that's just me. Um, and I think I'm in a place now where I know enough people that will help out with graphics and stuff to do that. So yeah, possibly. I mean, I honestly, Andy, I have considered um pausing it on the C64. I mean, it is pretty good on the C64. It's in a relatively decent state, but it does need a lot of work on it. Um, and just doing it for the Mega 65, just doing it for the Mega 65, because I think I would enjoy that a lot. And if it was successful enough, I could still finish off the C64 version. There wouldn't be a problem with doing that. The engine's really solid for it, so um saying that, if I was to do it on the Mega 65, I would need somebody to draw it, because I don't have the ability to be able to draw quality graphics. To put it into perspective, I've been looking at kind of messing around with Turrican 2 at the moment. And Turrican 2, I think everyone will agree, looks incredible on the Amiga, right? It's still only 16 colors. It's absolutely crazy to think, but it's only 16 colors. Well, the background is anyway. The sprites are 16 colors in their own kind of area, but the background is 16 colors, and it's absolutely insane. Um, so while I've been messing around with that, I'm like looking at thinking, well, I've got 240 colors that I can do what the hell I want with, because they're not being used by the background. So um, what do I think about the Commander X16 by the 8-bit guy? I was interested at first. There was some nice ideas that had gone into it. I think one of my biggest problems with it is that it doesn't have any true connection to any other machine. The closest it comes to is probably a Commodore, but it's still not. It's not like it's ever going to be able to run a Commodore. So the Mega 65 can run Commodore software. It can run Commodore 64 games. It can run Commodore 65 games. The Spectrum Next can run ZX Spectrum games. The Commander X16 doesn't do that. It doesn't run those games. It might be easy to port to it, but it doesn't run those games out of the box. The other thing that makes it kind of a little bit of a shame is that they went for a no FPGA design. Um, and that to me is okay. It's kind of interesting that they've used off the shelf parts, and that in itself it's a nice achievement. It's a kind of nice achievement, but it means it's never going to be able to run other cores. People aren't going to buy it over another machine, because they could buy a Mega 65 or they could buy a Spectrum Next, which could do the same job as the Commander X16. It could run Commander X16 code with the right core. So why would you pick something that's just focused on one job, and is, let's be honest, is probably quite overpriced as well, judging by the changes they've made to it, because they made this weird choice. So and what annoys me is that the GPU is still FPGA, so it doesn't make any sense to me that they've gone down this route. And there's a few design decisions that I don't agree with as well. It's I think the case is horrible. It does not look retro at all. It looks like a cheap media PC. Why don't I just put what Cecconoid? Yeah, I could do, I guess, but I don't. This is the thing. I don't really want to port anything. I want to do some unique content, my own content, basically. I don't want to port something. One thing I'm kind of tired of at the moment is the discussion about licenses. I'm sick of it. I really am sick of it. Um, I've had 3 or 4 games that I've wanted to do, and I feel like I can't really do them properly because I can't get licenses for things. Um, and it's upsetting. It is kind of upsetting. So I want to do something that I don't need a freaking license for. But if I do Mega 65 and I do original content, I'm gonna need somebody who's good at art to help me out because I'm not good enough to do the art for it. So if anybody's good with 256 color bitmaps, bitmap art is a bit of a pixel artist, knows how to use Sprite very well, has a good sense of kind of animation and stuff, please contact me, and we'll figure something out. What games? I, I can't really say on some of them because there's still discussions that are ongoing. Raiden is one of them. I don't know. I don't know if I should be finishing Raiden or not because nobody knows who really owns the license. There's a company in Japan that seems to own the license, um, but it's just going to be really hard. So, um, Parasol Stars was another one. I actually worked with a publisher for a couple of months to try and get the license off Tato for that, and they just basically just said no, no, we're not interested. And this is the problem with getting licenses for stuff for retro hardware, especially old games, is because the companies have moved on. They don't want to waste any time. They don't want to waste any legal kind of time or any kind of review time looking at stuff when it's going to make no money. Unless it makes them 20 grand, they don't want to touch it, and they're never going to get that from a retro game. So oh man, this is funny. This is funny. What is it? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Ah, it's Tony Hawk's. So actually, Fistmaster was close, but he just didn't put a 2 on the end. And everyone else got the 2, but didn't put the S in. Oh, that's harsh. That is very harsh. And the other games I don't really want to discuss at the moment, because there's still some chance that things might happen with those. So, um, but yeah, some original content would be good, and I think Dot Cosmos 2 could be the perfect candidate for it, because actually what it means is I can do some of the things I scaled back on the C64 and actually put them back in. Um, so enhanced rewind mode and things like that would be really good. Is that why the Turrican tweet vanished? It might be, yes. I can't say any more than that. I'm not going to say any more than that. But you might be along the right lines, yeah. Free Shalan. Creatures 3 confirmed. Well, the thing is, if it was Creatures 3, you know that would be fine because we all know Andy would want Thalamus to be doing Creatures 3 anyway. So, would you actually use mature, taller characters in Dark Cosmos instead of marshmallow types, like kind of what main character? You mean like higher height? Well, the good thing on the Mega 65 is the sprites can be a variable height as well. Um, so you can have 2 heights of sprite at any given time. You can have the standard height or a custom height. The custom height is shared across them all. So you either have a 21 pixel high sprite, or you can have a sprite of any height um, that you want, but all sprites that have custom enabled on them will be that height. So you could have 3 sprites that is, say, sprite 0, 1, and 2 all use 21 pixel high sprites, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 all use 64 pixel high sprites. Um, there's also several widths of sprite depending on the colors that you pick as well. So you can have 16, 24, or 64 pixels wide on the sprites. 16 is going to probably be the most common, I think, because 16 is the one that has the most colors in it. 24 is just normal standard multicolor mode. Or there is 64 pixel, which if you use high res mode and super extended sprite mode, you can get 64 pixel wide high res sprites. Quick question: are the vents of the resin printer actually spewing fumes out, or is it for heat dissipation? I don't notice the fumes that much, to be honest. I really don't. I think the thing get the most fumes from is from the wash, the IPA wash machine. That does stink, but it's because it's, you're dipping something in 3 liters of IPA and then basically turning a washing machine motor on underneath it, so it does stink. I honestly don't notice it. Uh, I wouldn't have thought, because the resin isn't being heated up or anything, so it is literally just the fumes that naturally evaporate off the resin. I think, yeah, I don't think there's I don't think there's really. It's certainly out of mine anyway. I'm using an Anycubic. I don't know which one you're using, but yeah, it's under the desk. Let's use it. Oh, I mean, I would definitely recommend. I mean, is your room ventilated? I definitely have my room is ventilated as well, so quite well. So maybe that's why I don't smell it quite as much. I do have a stream of air running through the room all the time. So anyway, someone's gonna have to make a sweet game with these big sprites. Yeah, I think they will. I think they will. Bear in mind as well that the Mega 65 still only has 8 hardware sprites. But you have so much raster time now that doing a 64 sprite multiplexer is just it's almost nothing. It's just you can do it. Plus the fact that you can change the height of the sprites as well. So if you've only got like 1 or 2 sprites that are really big, like say I was doing uh a large character, a large bulky character, quite thin but tall, I could do 16 wide by 48 high for the main character, and that's still just one sprite. So I could have that one sprite and then just multiplex the other 7 and get like 56 extra sprites at 16 by 16 or whatever, and it's still be plenty. Plus you've got the rewrite buffer as well, which is kind of like a cross between hardware and software sprites. Good night, Quadrisaur. Oh, I just want to point out as well, I've got a bit of a beef. Somebody on YouTube was like, "Stop it! Stop calling them software sprites. I'm really upset." No, spitting his dummy out. They're called software sprites. Get over it. They might have been called hardware sprites and hardware sprites. They might have been called sprites when only people only used hardware for them. But nowadays, sprites means many things. And software sprites is just one way of saying we are drawing something to the screen and we're using software to do it. Otherwise, why would people call them hardware sprites? If there was no such thing as a software sprite, why do people call them hardware sprites? It's just stupid. I said my piece and just left it. I couldn't be bothered arguing with the guy. So, um, oh, good Jesus Christ, that's not Coke. That's shit. That's rum. All right, this is going to be a really strong rum. The thing is if you want to get arsy about the term sprite, then actually you shouldn't even call sprites sprites, because sprites are a mythical creature. The fact is that words get used, meanings get shifted, and things like that. So, um, you know, people use the term sprites in computer graphics to mean images that can be superimposed on top of other images, right, and moved around independently. When the term was first coined, it was meant as a hardware thing, and that, yeah, it's a Coke and rum instead of a rum and Coke. That's why they flash in some games. Yeah, and as things went on, people realized, oh well, okay, we need to kind of write our own systems to do the same thing. So if somebody writes a system that performs virtually the same function as the hardware version, but is doing it in software, why not call it a software sprite? It makes perfect sense. Um, but nowadays we call anything that moves a sprite. I mean, it's stupid. It's such a stupid discussion. Just go away, leave me alone. Like getting really, really upset that I was calling it. Oh, fuck me, that's strong. All right, I need coke in that. Right, I think I'm going to call it a night for the code. I think we've got. Let me just double check. I think we've got the stars displaying. It's a bit slow, and I have ranted a little bit here and there, but it's I haven't seen you guys for 3 weeks. I've missed you all. Missed you so much. Did you miss a quiz? Oh, maybe, but I'm going to put it on again anyway because I'm going to go for a quick break, and then when I come back, we'll plug in the Atari and see if we can't get that to actually load something up. Uh, did you hear about the scientist who was lab partners with a pot? Oh my god, VCS hype. Yes. I mean, I'm not going to be able to put Windows on it straight away. I'm pretty sure. I think I need to plug in an M2 drive into it to do that. And I don't have an install copy of Windows knocking around. I need to write one to USB, and I'm not going to do that on stream. It just take forever. Oh, there's a little bit of a gap in the mask at the bottom there. I might need to change the location of that. See it there at the bottom. That needs changed. Okay, it's not a problem there. Okay, I can't work out if this is right or wrong at the moment. So what I'm going to do before I go for a quick break, I'm just going to change the thing in here. I think it's not displaying the stars quite right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to I. That's I. So hopefully this should draw diagonal lines. If it doesn't draw diagonal lines, then we've got another problem. So how many men does it take to Tyler? But oh my god, spec comes to that. That's dark. that's dark. That's really dark. That's serial killer levels of dark. Okay, it is drawing the diagonal lines, but actually, something's not quite right here. Something isn't quite right. How do you make a plumber cry? Kill his Jesus Christ! Oh god, you guys are twisted. Okay, yeah, there's definitely something not right here. Because what I would expect to see here is a complete row of 8 pixels going down. I'm not seeing that. Something has gone horribly wrong here. But it's one for next time. It's one for next time. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a quick break now. I'm just going to tidy my desk up a little bit on this side so I can put the Atari down. We'll unbox the controller as well. And see what these are like. I bet they need charging as well, actually. But we'll do that as well. I'm sure they'll work plugged in. And we'll see what this Atari's like. I'm not going to play it for too long. I'm going to play it for about an hour, I think, to see if it's any good. If it's complete shit, I'll turn it off and just end the stream. But if it's half decent, then we'll give it half an hour. So, how do you make Shalon cry? Tell him the Mega 65 is converted to Z80. Oh, there is a Spectrum core for it now as well, so you can get you can get the ZX Uno core running on it now, which is kind of cool. Which unfortunately I have a ZX Uno, so it's kind of pointless having this there. So I've got this thing, which is my ZX Uno, but I don't need it now because the Mega 65 can run the same core, so it makes no sense to even have that anymore. Maybe I do a giveaway. Maybe I do a ZX Uno giveaway at some time, or ZX DOS, whatever it is. I forget what it's called. No, it's a ZX Uno XL. All right, cool. I'm going to take a quick break, guys. I'll leave the quiz running, and I shall see you in a few minutes. Where's the quiz gone? Where is the quiz? Shit, what have I done with it? Oh, there it is. All right, back in a minute.